Thank you for stopping by Country Boy Tested. Today we're going to talk about batteries. We're going to talk about stock batteries versus getting a custom battery built. And when I say custom battery, I'm talking about one of these. When you have the battery made, you send it out to have that battery made versus a stock battery. This is a stock battery. All of these, every one of these is a stock battery. Every one of these batteries is UL rated, UL listed. If it's not UL listed, I don't want it in my house. And make sure when you're buying your bikes, if it doesn't have a UL listing or rating, don't keep that battery in your house. It's the equivalent of keeping explosives in your house, which is insane. Don't do it. Just don't do it. One of the reasons that you would like your stock batteries a little bit, you lean more towards these. It's only a few reputable companies out there that are making these custom batteries. Only ones I trust are like Powerful Lithium. So if you're going to get a battery and want someone that stands behind it, you might want to check in the Powerful Lithium. My boy e-bike guy, he's doing it. He know what he's doing. You can watch him build batteries. He'll explain what's going on and how these batteries are built and everything you need to know about them. But once you get into that range, you're spending a little bit of money, and a custom built battery can run you they can run you some money. They can run up into the thousands, and most of the ones that everyone's putting on the bikes is running anywhere in the neighborhood of what, about 2 to 4 grand for some of these batteries, because these sales are not cheap. And if you get like the PB45s, they're like $5 a sale. So you gotta add that up. Some of these batteries have a lot of sales in them. So to remedy that, if you wanted to add, let's say you wanted to add range to your bike, but you don't want to add like a lot of weight and spend a lot of money on the battery that you don't know if something go wrong with it, who you're going to take it to get it fixed. These are stock batteries, and you'll always be able to find like a stock battery online that's comparable to what you got now. Some of the like in frame, the ones where they mount into the frame flush, those batteries, they can be rebuilt, but you'll have to send them batteries off to get them rebuilt. I suggest you getting these are what I call them, generic batteries. The reason I call them generic batteries between this one and that one, because you can find them everywhere. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Now, what I'm showing you here, the reason you would like to get these kind of batteries is because you can find these online and they're cheap. These are, you can get a UL listed, UL rated battery just like this in this style. And what you would do is mount it on your back rack. Just mount, that's a 20 amp hour battery right here. This goes on my Move Cam, but they got tons of this pack battery on Amazon. See, that's a 12 amp hour, but actually I bought a 15 amp hour replacement for this, just stand up batteries, slab post batteries. I got a 15 amp hour for $260 shipped, and there's also a 20 amp hour on there right now. If it was around 280, so if you put the 20 amp hour there and another 20 amp hour here, that's going to be 40 amp hours. Now, when we go out and we ride, I think about the most we done did. So you can mount it on that back rack, and it'll help keep your bike balanced. And keeping that bike balanced has got, a lot to do with him, enjoying your ride. When you get to putting these heavy batteries on these bikes, it makes the bike heavier. Therefore, you're working the motor hard. You're draining the battery faster. So the big people are thinking the bigger the battery, the more range I have. Actually, you're just adding weight to the bike. You're not. You're kind of working against yourself with all that. When we read about the longest ride I think so far we've ridden is 29 miles. 29 miles, and I was pretty good. My body was kind of tired. I was ready to go sit it down after that, but about 29, 30 miles, I don't think it's going to be many people out there that's going to average more than that. Now, on these batteries, you have a life cycle of about 1,000. You can cycle these around 1,000 times before they start going downhill. Then they'll hold like 80% charge, then 70, then 60. Then you get what I'm saying. They ain't going to be usable. So you start off by wanting a battery, ordering, you want a battery that has a good setup from the word go, like the 21700s. That's what everybody's wanting. The Samsung sales, and like when you're building, if anybody's building you a battery, make sure that when you build your batteries, that you don't use old cells that have, you don't know how many cell cycles they have left on them. Building these things is a monster. It takes a lot of time and effort. You got to balance all of these out. You got to make sure the charge is on them. You'll use one of these. You got to make sure that your charge is even across them. You don't want it plus or minus. They like give you plus or minus 0.1, but you want them like that as you build them, so that the battery is even as you put that battery together. There's a lot of information in here it'll wake you up, and it'll show you where you don't want to waste money at and where you're overspending. But some of these, like 4K on the battery, you got to look at, that's 1,000 cycles. If you ride every day, let's say you're riding a lot, you're not going to charge it that kind of battery every day. I'd say you might charge it twice a week. So 1,000 charges on that battery, that could last a while. So you might have that battery 4 to 6, maybe a little bit longer years. And you better hope the company that you bought that battery from is still around that can fix it, because a lot of these companies, if it's not a battery that they built, they won't touch it, because they have to ensure that when they send it back. So if you have a problem, burn your house down or something, then it don't fall back on them. So just beware. It's just a few people out there that's making them. I like E-Bike Guy. I like Powerful Lithium. Check in with them before you go out and just buy a battery from anybody that might not know what they're doing. Because these things right here, this is the life of your bike. So you don't really want to, the best thing I can suggest is just order a bike that has the battery on it that you want. Most of these bikes come with enough battery. You're just seeing a lot of people that are putting a lot into their bikes, and they're amping them up to go faster and do stuff. Well, you see that's over with. That's done. That is done and over with. I've already had a police officer behind me on a bike. I know what he was doing. He was trying to see how fast I was going, see if I broke 28. I already had it happen. I've already seen a couple of videos where people have been harassed on their bikes already. Pull them up. You'll see one guy on a little scooter he got arrested. So, it ain't no use to go out here and give yourself a headache with these. Put them where they supposed to be. Stay in the law. You ain't got to worry about all of that. But that's all I got to talk about today. Just don't overspend on these things, and try to stick with stock if you can, because you can get another stock battery. They're easy to find, and you can easily get somebody to rebuild one of these. When you get a custom battery, you'll have to take that custom battery right back to that person who built it, because no one else wants to stand behind it. I can already tell you, because I got another battery. It's like that one, and I'm sending it out to have 21700s put in it. I'm having a hard time finding someone who will do it, who will say, yeah, well, and that's a pack they recognize. I've had to send pictures of the pack in, and 2 companies already have told me no, they wouldn't do it. And then I found one that's in New Jersey. I'm waiting to hear back from them. I sent him a picture of everything, and the dimensions, and he said he'd get back with me. So I'm hoping to hear back from them. But just, be mindful of this. Thank you for stopping by Country Boy Tested. If any of this information is helpful and helping you save a little money, consider subscribing and giving us a like. Have a great day.